Main man, made man here. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. To everybody who see this, won't be here long. Just going here for a quick second. I was going to actually do this particular topic in video form, but time permitting on my end doesn't allow me to sit down and edit out a video for this. So I just thought I'd get on here very, very quick, very, very brief, kind of put this out there in the air, you know what I mean? So everybody can kind of know what's going on, man. Well, let's see here. First off, before we get started, let me just make sure my audio is correct. Make sure we're good to go. Stand by, stand by. Man, I won't be on here too long, so I don't like the way this audio sounds. So come on back, give me about 2 minutes, and I'll redo this over again. All right, we'll do this. We want to keep this professional. 2 minutes, come right back. All right, y'all should see the notification. Well, actually, it doesn't sound bad now, right? Should we keep going? What y'all say? Should we keep going? Should we keep going, or should we stop it here? I don't know. It's actually cool now, right? It's actually pretty okay now, right? Yeah, that was my fault. I think we should keep it going. All right. All right. We'll keep it going then, fight fans. We'll keep it going. All right. Well, like I was trying to tell everybody, I wanted to get on here quickly for a minute. I won't be here long, just real brief. You know, I see everybody pulling in the building. Rocket Strikes 89 was goody with you. M Star in the building. Fam, Ray Bands, what's up with you? Bang for Buck, what's going on? Cousin Skeeter, good to have you on board. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's talk about this real quick. All right, let's mix it up about the situation. Word on the curb is that the WBC has ordered an eliminator fight between Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury. And the reason that I find this so monumental, the reason I find this so big, in my opinion, is because this to me has implications across the board in many different ways. And I wonder how this is going to play out. Real talk. Because the deal is, we all know that Dillian Whyte is rated #1 in the WBC, right? And Tyson Fury also himself is in the top 5 of the WBC. Matter of fact, he's #2. So the question I have is, how is this plays out with what the WBO has going on? Now, Dillian Whyte has been wanting to get the fight with Deontay Wilder. There's no mistake about it. But contrary to popular belief, what a lot of people, I think y'all should know by now, is that he's not the mandatory. He's just the #1 cat. The mandatory has always been Dominique Breazeale. It's been this way since the end of 2017, unfortunately. You know what I mean? So he's not the mandatory. And then when you look at Dillian Whyte's position in the WBO, he's #1 in the WBO as well. But however, same way as in the WBC, he is not the mandatory. So the thing is that Tyson Fury is also rated in the top 5 of the WBO, in which Tyson Fury is rated #4 in the WBO. So by the WBC ordering this fight, it seems to me that they're trying to get ahead of the WBO and lock down these two fighters. Now, I look at the path that these fighters are on right now, in which you have Dillian Whyte has an upcoming fight with Oscar Rivas, and you have Tyson Fury, who has an upcoming fight with Tom Schwartz. These are also WBO fighters, because Tom Schwartz is about number 2 in the WBO, and Oscar Rivas is number 5 in the WBO. Tom Schwartz is not even rated at all in the WBC. So I'm wondering, like, if the WBC sanctions and orders this fight, how does this play out for the WBO? And also, if let's just say you go to land of make believe and say Dillian Whyte does fight Tyson Fury, right? Deontay Wilder is currently about to face Dominique Breazeale, which is a mandatory fight. Now, usually with the WBC rules, after you face a mandatory, you don't have to usually get into your next mandatory for up to a year. So will Tyson Fury or Dillian Whyte be willing to wait around for a year and fight for the WBC mandatory? Or will they actually continue their path in the WBO where there is no mandatory? Now, this is the situation right here that I also find funny. The WBO mandatory should be coming due very soon. As a matter of fact, given the words of Eddie Hearn, it actually should have been came around. Because I remember when Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury were trying to get their fight together, Eddie Hearn told them that he needed some clarification about the April fight, because after Anthony Joshua faced Alexander Povetkin at the time, that the WBO mandatory would come around. Now, we see that Anthony Joshua is facing Andy Ruiz. Originally, he was scheduled to face Jarrell Miller. That wasn't a WBO mandatory. And if you think I'm lying, I'll give you the quote. Eddie Hearn says, and I quote, "We need to know if they, the Wilder camp, want to fight in April." He said this last year. He says that if Anthony beats Povetkin, we've probably got 2-3 weeks to make the Wilder fight. Otherwise, we'll have to fight a WBO mandatory, end quote. So the point I'm making is the WBO mandatory may come around before the WBC mandatory. And if Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury decides to make a fight, who's to say that they want to be the WBC guy? They might want to be the WBO guy and immediately get a fight with Anthony Joshua. That's possible. That's very possible. And see, I know people may say, well, you know, politics, shit. The good thing about when these sanctioning bodies order a fight, that it has to happen. It's almost like a mandatory. It doesn't matter with networks or promotional companies that don't do business. Unless you drop out the rankings, you got to get this fight on or it goes to purse bid, one or the other, or you kicked out the rankings. So the question is the WBC, they're trying to get ahead of the WBO, right? And try to order this fight and lock it down and make sure that these two fighters come to the table. But what if the WBO sanctioned this too? Because Dillian Whyte, when he defeated Joseph Parker, he took one of their underling belts. It's like the WBO international belt or something like that. So the WBO has been sanctioning Dillian Whyte's fights. His last couple fights. In the Derek Chisora fight, he had that title on the line. When he took it from Joseph Parker, he had that title on the line. So, I mean, how does this work out? I mean, up until when he fought Robert Helenius and Lucas Brown, it was strictly for the WBC. But after the Joseph Parker fight, he took like I said, the World Boxing Organization International Heavyweight title. And it's been in his fights ever since. So who's to say they don't go that route? You did. I wonder how this is going to work out. I do wonder how this is going to work out. Will they sit around and wait for Wilder to face his mandatory in Dominique Breazeale? Now, sometimes the WBC like to pull this little joke move, this little funny style move, and they order 2 mandatories back to back. We haven't seen them do that with Wilder. We've seen them do that with fighters like Jermell Charlo. Wilder hasn't happened to. You know what I mean? So, if they obey, does Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury really have to obey this order if they feel like they're being smacked around by the WBC? They can keep pursuing what they're doing in the WBO. They're fighting WBO fighters. Tom Schwartz and Oscar Rivas. They are both WBO top 5 rated fighters. Which way do they go? MStar01 says Fury and ESPN will not fight Whyte for an interim title. They will want to get the Wilder or AJ fight. But my deal is, that's the thing I'm trying. That's why I pointed out the Eddie Hearn quote. Because Eddie Hearn said last year that the next fight after Povetkin would have to been the WBO mandatory. Clearly, that ain't happening right now because he's facing Andy Ruiz. So once he gets the Andy Ruiz fight out the way, will the WBO need a mandatory fighter to put in there with Anthony Joshua? Will they designate the winner of a Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte as the mandatory? Because they're both rated in the top 5. I mean, that's just the way it works. And this is the reason I think the WBC is coming out and saying, well, yeah, we're gonna make sure we get this locked down and order this for the WBC, because the WBO can actually take this. No, it plays out this way because of the fighters that they fighting in their next fight. Oscar Rivas is number 5, and Tom Schwartz is number 2 in the WBO. You know what I mean? And if this happens, this would then, I'm sure Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury will be like, look, I know Dillian Whyte to take the fight. Look at Dillian Whyte. He's ever since he read the small print in his contracts, he like, I can go anywhere and fight anywhere I want to fight. Oh, I'm down for whatever. He down to fight Fury. He down to fight Wilder. He down to fight Joshua. He down wherever, whenever. Everybody except Luis Ortiz. But I mean, he's down to make that fight happen. So Oscar Rivas is an ESPN fighter, right? And they making it happen. So the point I'm trying to make is the WBC, I mean, they just doing this just to get ahead of the WBO. Because like I said before, if Wilder, if one of these guys get ordered by the WBC, Wilder can sit back for a year like he did with Dillian, or like we did with Dominique Brazil, put him on the back burner. Of course, unifications trump mandatories. So if we would all love to see him and Anthony Joshua make a fight happen. Don't know. I mean, listening to the latest talks, don't see that happening right now, unfortunately. So I wonder how this is going to play out. Because if Wilder faces his mandatory in Brazil, beats Brazil, he gets a voluntary, right? Well, this would then allow him to go and fight basically anyone he want. What, in the top 10 or top 15 of the WBC? He could choose whoever he wants to choose. He doesn't have to go right back into a mandatory fight, which will be decided between Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury, according to the WBC. But in the WBO, the situation is a little different. And the WBO will be involved with this fight because Dillian Whyte holds a WBO title. Now, if he vacates that WBO international belt or whatever the case may be, and he forfeits his number 1 position in the WBO, then maybe we're talking a little different. But as of today, he is rated number 1 in the WBO. He's fighting a top WBO fighter. He does not have to be on some year-long wait to get his title fight because the WBO mandatory should be coming around. The Povetkin fight wasn't for a WBO mandatory because Eddie Hearn stated after the Povetkin fight that the WBO mando was coming around. Was that a lie? Did Eddie Hearn lie? Because clearly the WBO mandatory ain't came around and he's facing Andy Ruiz. So was that a lie, ladies and gentlemen? When we talk about the WBC protecting Deontay Wilder, why ain't we talking about the WBO protecting Anthony Joshua? I'm just asking a question. Bang for Buck says Whyte could beat Fury. And if Fury knows what's good for him, he might as well just rematch Wilder. Why risk it? I mean, he had that, bro. He had it. They were in negotiations right there, ready to sign on the dotted line. Bob Arum gets involved in the mix and the whole thing goes to shit. Now here we are in a position now where instead of him just walking back into an easy rematch, now the WBC is saying that, okay, you have to now put in a fight. Now you have to fight somebody to earn the Deontay Wilder fight right back. That's what they saying. It's only but right, if you ask me. Since you want to go and face Tom Schwartz, who is a WBO fighter, fine. You ain't fighting nobody in the top 5, top 10 of the WBC. Fine. Well, guess what? Now you got to earn your stripes back. I think it's a good position, especially since Dillian Whyte is in the number 1 spot and Tyson Fury is rated under him. I think that's right what the WBC is doing. Now, as for in the WBO, that's why I say, man, Tyson Fury might sit back and say, well, look, I'm not going to sit. Well, maybe he do want to sit around and kill that year. No, truth be told, he might want to sit over there on ESPN, take lower tier fights, work out his deal, make his money, and then say, well, if he beats Dillian Whyte, that'd be a big fight for ESPN. But then turn around and say, well, now I got to wait a year for Wilder, so I get to make some more money. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, Bang for Buck says, yeah, the Povetkin fight was a WBA mandatory, and the Ruiz fight is a voluntary. Absolutely. But I just gave you the quotes. I just gave everybody the quotes. These are not the words of Main Man Made Man. These are the words of Eddie Hearn. And for those who wasn't here to hear it, I'll reread the exact quote that Eddie Hearn said at the end of last year. We need to know if they, the Wilder camp, want the fight in April. If Anthony beats Povetkin, we've probably got 2 or 3 weeks to make the Wilder fight. Otherwise, we'll have to fight a WBO mandatory. Those were the words of Eddie Hearn. So that means it's coming around. It's got to be coming around, right? It's got to be coming around. So why would Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte mess around with the WBC, possibly have to wait a year after Wilder faces his mandatory, when they can possibly get a faster shot in the WBO if they face one another, if this fight can come together? I would like to see the WBO order this fight. Truth be told, I would. I would like to see them order this fight, because that means at least that we don't have to wait a year for a mandatory, and regardless, Anthony Joshua will have to make a decision whether he's going to face the winner of that fight, and that's a damn good fight. Or if not, then Deontay Wilder will have to step up. Something will have to get worked out. Ray Ban says the family is getting bigger. Tell your people to join us. Yeah, man. Hey, everybody, we are growing. This has been a hell of a growth year for Main Man Made Man's boxing channel. Just like my man Ray Bans just said, yo, join up. If you new, if you just seeing me, if you just stumbled upon me, I was in your recommended section or whatever the fuck, yo, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button. You dig? And on the meantime, also hit that like button. You know what I mean? All day. You 100% about the WBO? Yeah, absolutely. Hey, cousin Skeeter, look it up. I always do my homework before I get up on here. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you right now. So if the WBO situation is coming around before the WBC, is this the reason why the WBC wanted to jump ahead of things and order a fight between White and Fury? Now, the WBC orders as of late, though, been laughable, man. Look what's going on at middleweight. All right, the WBC ordered a fight between Gennady Golovkin and Jamal Charlo, nothing. And Triple G about to come back and fight somebody else in a totally different sanctioning body. They just ignored that order. And as I checked, they didn't remove the Triple G from their rankings. So I hope it don't play out like that in this situation. You know what I mean? I hope they actually stay on this thing, because this is a good fight. Dillian Whyte versus Tyson Fury, that's a hell of a fight. That's a hell of a fight. The only question is, will it be for the WBC or will the WBO, given that they have a belt around, some sort of belt? I don't know what it's made of. I think it's made of plastic or something. The WBO international belt, never heard of it. Ain't gonna check for it. The fact of the matter is they are involved with Dillian Whyte, and they are involved with Tyson Fury because he's facing a WBO fighter in Tom Schwartz. I don't want to get too repetitive, but y'all kind of process that, man, and let me know, man, what y'all think about that. You did? Yeah, man. So we'll see how it works out. Ray Ban says, who makes it happen for real? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. M Star says that this is a mess. It's sanctioning body suits bullshit. Don't get me wrong. But all I know is this. If I'm Dillian Whyte or if I'm Tyson Fury, I'm looking at the WBO situation more seriously. And I'm saying I'm gonna stay the course, because WBC, unless you can give me in writing that if I face Tyson Fury or if I face Dillian Whyte, that I don't have to, you won't give me the runaround and make me wait up to a year to face the champion, then I could take this fight for the WBC. But if not, the WBO Mando is coming due very, very soon. And I would love to be in that position. So that's all I'm saying. So I'll leave it there. To the next video. You know what I mean? Let me see. Cousin Skeeter says the WBC orders fights all the time, but they never happen. And if I'm Dillian Whyte, I'm not messing with the WBC. I feel you, bro. I feel you. Ray Ban says, damn, just saw Charlo and Harrison face these guys. Really got hate for each other. Yeah, it's deep right there, bro. We're going to definitely touch back again on that one. Maybe tonight or tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But we got more to talk about when it comes to that. We did a live stream on it last night, but we got more to talk about. Big Baby Farmer says Fury should have been pulled from the top 10 for refusing the Wilder fight. Sanction Ortiz versus White. Yeah, I agree with that, bro. They should have slapped some sort of penalty on that for Tyson Fury pulling out the way he did, but here they are today ordering a fight between Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte now. Now they're ordering this fight. So you did. DGO says WBC Wilder Protection Program in full throttle. Let me ask you though, DGO. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just saying earlier though. What about the WBO and Anthony Joshua? You know what I mean? What about that situation? Eddie Hearns told us last year that Wilder had got to hurry up and sign a deal or come to the table and fight in April, or else they would have to face their WBO mandatory. Yet here we are seeing him facing Jarrell the Mutant Miller, or then that fell apart, and now he's facing Andy Ruiz. Where's the WBO man, though? So I'm asking a question. Riddle me that. Much love to each and every one of y'all. I got to be out, though. You know what I'm saying? I will be back up on here later. Hey, if you didn't hit the like button on the way in, do the homie a favor and hit it on the way out. You know what I'm saying? I will get with each and every one of y'all later on. Much love. Enjoy your day. To the next video. Main Man, Made Man. Don't forget to subscribe. Twitter, Made Man 511. Facebook, Main Man, Made Man. Boxing Forum. Instagram, Main Man, Made Man. I may even re-edit this to get that beginning part out the way because, you know, shit, man, that was on me. I didn't have my microphone plugged up, and it became a little distorted and had to get itself together. But whatever, Slim. I'll re-edit this and we'll cut that part out. So to the next video, much love to all y'all. Peace out.